So I am paralyzed from here down. So I wear a strap that kind of gives me a little bit more like secure stability. But I have a high backrest. So that helps me in bed. Obviously it's nice and secure in there. I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, so I just have to know my balance. That's why the breastfeeding pillow is nice, because I have a little bit more real estate to deal with there. Yeah.
Typically, if the baby has a stable support when they're positioned at the breast, then they feel more secure and they're better able to orient to the breast and start to show signs that they're wanting to latch. Whereas if they're insecure, often they're squirming and struggling, and it's harder to move beyond that step. So the breast friend pillow is a great resource that we often use. And with conjunction often with that pillow, we will use like a rolled up towel or a receiving blanket, because sometimes once the baby gets breastfeeding and is latched, there might be a gap between the mother's arm or her wrist and the actual pillow surface. So if we try to support her arm and wrist by using these towel rolls to sort of fill in those gaps, then that way it's helping keeping her from being kind of tensed up or having to hold her hand in a position for a long time.
So the bassinet was easier. Unfortunately, when they got bigger as well, the bassinet was harder because picking it up from the inside is challenging, even if it's beside the bed, because it doesn't go down, the bassinet doesn't go down, so it's not accessible for me. So the best way for me to be able to access the children is just for them to sleep beside me in bed. Since I'm paralyzed, I don't move around, so there's no danger that I'm gonna roll over my kid or something like that. So that was pretty manageable at that part.
It was like a breastfeeding pillow, but somebody had made it, so it was like bigger than the standard size of them. So that was like helpful. And also, like, if I had just a regular pillow, I would put quite a few pillows underneath the baby, so that the higher the baby was or closer the baby was to me, then it would be less hard on my back, because then I wouldn't have to lean so far forwards or support the weight of the baby. Yeah.
So first of all, with hand function, you know, you might need some assistance with actual placement of the baby on the lap. There's lots of pillows and cushions and wraps that can secure the child for you. But even more importantly, because you want to maintain breastfeeding, is that you have to have good latching. So if there isn't good suckling latching onto the breast, if the position's not right, then you can't have this, you know, breastfeeding happening. So often you need some assistance, either with adaptive aids or with a support person to try to pick up and put the baby in the correct position.
I had a bassinet that was attached to the bed. Originally the plan was that I would be able to get the baby from it, but without having any trunk control, I found it really even still difficult. So it was just easier, you know, for my husband to grab the baby and pass him to me when I was in bed. And so I would sit myself up in bed, he would grab the baby, pass him to me. When I was at home during the day, I mostly did breastfeeding sitting in my chair. So I used a breastfeeding pillow, one that you can just get off the market, and I wrapped that around me, and the baby, you know, was passed to me, and I was able to sort of slip my hand underneath his head and support him.
Other positions that can be really supportive is a sideline position, where the woman is laying on her side with the baby alongside of her. That one is a very restful position. It takes the pressure off of the woman's upper body and shoulders and back to hold the baby. You've got gravity working on your side. And in conjunction with that position, another one that's commonly used right after birth is a laid back position, where the woman is often laying down in a bed or on a recliner, and she's kind of reclined back around 45-degree angle or so. Again, we're using gravity, and the baby is on her chest, and usually in this position babies are very instinctual and can almost latch on their own with very little intervention from a person. So that's another one that could be really useful and very restful and not requiring a lot of upper body strength to maintain for a long period of time.
I started a group, a Moms with SCI group through SCI BC. It is a little bit more challenging to get moms together. We are, number one, a very small community, and number two, we're all busy with our kids, and there's very specific things that a mom with an SCI, challenges and successes that we all like to share. That's very unique, not only to spinal cord injury, but and to mothers, right? So parenting with a disability and being a mom, it can look very different, and so supporting one another through this small group, and there's larger groups that you can find online, peer support that way as well, that can give you a lot more resources if you're looking for them.